Hey everyone, Brian from WorkshopAddict.com. The reality of life in a small town is that we don't have a lot of choices to get tools. Sears is long gone. A lot of our Ace hardware stores don't carry a lot of Craftsman tools, and Kmart will soon be leaving as they also carry Craftsman. So what do we have left? And that's very little. So we needed to expand our horizons. We know that getting a warranty on our Craftsman tools that we've been collecting for the last 20 years is just not going to happen. So we wanted to expand, get a new toolkit, and see how it goes. So what I'm going to introduce you to is the Husky 432-piece quarter, 3/8, and half-inch drive mechanics tool set. This is model number 1000-029-981. This kit is made in China and it is guaranteed forever. So we're going to actually walk you through what you get with the kit. We're going to kind of talk to you about what we liked about the kit, what we don't like about the kit, and go over kind of how it fits us and maybe how it's going to fit you also. When you get this box home and start to unpack it, organization is going to be your first struggle. There is a lot of sockets here and you want to have a place to put them right off the bat. Otherwise you're just going to drop them in drawers and it's going to be an absolute mess. So take some time and do some organizing. You're going to find in this kit that you're going to have 57 1/4 inch drive sockets. 25 of them are 6-point, 10 of them are 12-point, and 26 are deep well 6-point. Moving up a size, 78 3/8 inch drive sockets are included. 30 of them 6-point, 22 of them 12-point, 21 of them 6-point deep well sockets. Moving up to the half-inch drive, you're going to have 50 of them, 26 of them are 12-point, and 24 of them are deep well 12-point. Now in this plethora, all the sizes are pretty well included. There are very few that you're missing on the small end, and there's really not much that you're missing at all in between. So if you look at any of our organizers, they are set in the places that they should be. You notice we're missing some on the small end of the 3/8 inch scale and maybe a couple on the really large end of it. But overall, you get a really good idea of what's included with the kit by looking at what we have in our Westinghouse holders. Everything here is pretty good quality. I kind of wish that the half-inch drive was 6-point instead of 12-point, but we have our impact sockets for that. So this is kind of it's a good secondary tool to have for us rather than having all 6-point sockets. With that said, everything that we seem to use goes from 3/8 down. If we're getting into the larger half-inch stuff, most of the time we're pulling out an impact wrench to use it, and we don't use these with our impact wrenches. So I think everything included here is an excellent mechanics kit starting set. You're going to add a little bit to it, but sockets are good quality, size is there, and everything else fits. Now moving on, you're going to get 5 1/4 inch drive Torx bits and quite a few of the 3/8 inch drive Torx bits, including some with the security hole that has the center knocked out of them. Pretty nice kit for Torx bits. We use these a lot on a lot of the newer cars, interiors, and if you have a Jeep, you know you need these. These have actually withheld being used with an impact wrench. You shouldn't. These are not impact rated, but they work. You also get a lot of 3/8 inch drive, both metric and standard Allen wrenches, along with some screwdriver bits if that's something that you use. We haven't really had a chance to use these, never really used them much before, but I can see in some situations that they would work out well. So out of the 432 pieces, 185 of them are sockets. And that's awesome because there's nothing wasted in there. There's no universal sockets, and that's what I like. You got good quality 6-point, 12-point sockets. Now the heart and soul to me, if this kit or any kit that you're gonna buy is going to be your ratchets and how they feel and how they work. These remind me a lot of the gear wrench ratchets that we have around. They have the same style of direction changing lever, and you can push a button on these to bring in the detent ball, or you can just pull them off. Either way, it doesn't matter how you use them. They're quality and they stand up to what we've put them through. Now, we pull these tools out of the box on a daily basis. We are not mechanics, we're not in a shop, we're not doing this 8 to 10 hours a day, but we are using these tools, and the 3 included ratchets have been put into their They've been put through a test, there's no doubt about that. So you get a 1/2" drive, 3/8" drive, and 1/4" drive standard ratchets. They're all the same 72 tooth. They do work quite well. You also have two, a 1/2" drive and a 3/8" drive flex head. So these heads flex around and they have somewhat of a detent to them, which helps if you're in odd positions. They work well. These have been good also. They have the same toothing in the top. Everything has been good with these. I like having this as an option. Never had these before, haven't used them much, and it's been an interesting kind of transition to get into saying, hey, I can use this rather than some sort of other tool that we might have had around. Now you do also get 2 breaker bars that are very nice to have, so you don't have to mung up or bend any other ratchets. You get a 1/2" and a 3/8" drive. So far we've got a nice set of sockets, nice set of ratchets, and then we get into the extensions, and you'll notice I kind of have the smooth extensions on one side and the knurled ones on another. This is where it gets a little shady to me. I'm just not used to wobble drive extensions. So we have the 1/4" here, and when you put your socket on, everything is good as long as it's pushed in tight. If it's not pushed in tight, it's exactly what they say it is. It wobbles around a little bit at the end. So not quite used to that. Trying to use this and get it to get on a nut or bolt was a little awkward. To me, thankfully, they include the standard size extensions. So you can simply slide them on. They're tight, they fit straight, they stay on. There is no wobble to them. I guess either way you can get in and use these. I'm more apt to use a universal, but if you can't get a universal into smaller areas, these will work. Tend not to pull them out. They tend to be the size that I want them to be. If I have a 1/4" extension that's needed, I'd rather get a little bit longer one. But either way, these are there and they work. When you get up to the 1/2" drive, they have a little more stability. I can see where the wobble would work, but when I'm trying to put pressure on something that's 1/2" drive and you got the wobble there, I'm just not 100% into it. Then they give you 3 other extensions that are black on the bottom, silver on top. Don't get confused, these are not impact drive extensions. These are extensions that will hold on to whatever you attach to them until you pull that down to let everything loose. I think that is awesome because you cannot separate these. So if you get into a tight area where you know pulling your socket off that bolt is not going to happen easily, this allows you the option to do that. Now you have 1/2, 3/8, and 1/4 in those, and I think that's an amazing part of this kit. You also have a 1/2 and 3/8" drive universal, no 1/4" drive universal, which I think would have been nice to have. So far this kit has been pretty well balanced between standard and metric, but when you get into the wrenches, you end up with 39 combination wrenches. 17 of them are going to be standard, the rest of them are going to be metric, and they go up to 32mm metric and down to 5.5mm, and you have 1.25" standard down to 1/4", and they're pretty nice. They're chrome. Everything on them has been nice, easy cleanup. But what they tell you is that you get 20 combination stubby wrenches. That's simply these little guys in the bag. Now to me, combination stubby wrenches means that I'm getting a smaller stubby wrench. Those are basically just the small wrenches that range inside from 10mm down. But you also get 14 ratchet wrenches, which I think are nice. They're basically just the straight version, so you flip them around if you want to change directions. But I think this is awesome because a lot of people don't have ratchet wrenches, and when you use them, you'll fall in love with them quite quickly. The one thing that we want to note is the Husky that's in the middle comes with a universal style ratchet, where here's a 6-point and this wrench is a 12-point. The universal style has worked out fair for us so far, but it's one of those things where if you get on a really rusty bolt, I always question if that is the right way to go. This kit comes with both standard and metric L-shaped Allen wrenches. You don't get T-handles with it, which at first I was kind of bummed out with, but I thought, you know, for a guy who's starting out grabbing this kit, these L-shaped Allen wrenches are going to be able to allow him to put some sort of breaker bar on the end, put some extra force on them, where T-handles are a little bit more delicate. This is a good step. This is a good situation. They give you quite a few long ones, and you get another set of some shorter ones. I like that. All the fitment's been good on them. Everything's been great. We haven't broken any, and we've been using them quite a bit. Next, you have a lot of nut drivers. You get more standard nut drivers here than you do metric, which I think is probably kind of the way to go, at least at this point in time. And then they give you some smaller Torx bits, some smaller security Torx bits, a plethora of different types of Phillips and regular drivers, some Robertson, and also, again, more of the standard and metric Allen wrenches. Now you have two drivers for it. Standard screwdriver bit holds it, or you have this type of small ratchet wrench basically, where it allows you to connect up to a small 1/4-inch socket if you wanted to, or the other end takes a 1/4-inch hex bit, allows you to insert it into it and get into those tight places, and it is reversible. So quite a nice little system that they give you for the small pieces. There's not a lot of small pieces, which I appreciate, because this is a mechanics kit, man. We need to get into a larger bit of what we use every day, and that's going to be your sockets, your extensions, your ratchets, and your wrenches. That's what we bought the kit for. We didn't want to buy the kit for 50, 60, 100 of these little bits, because that's not what we use every day. So overall, we really like this kit. It was tough to walk into a store and change brands. I never really thought I was going to have to struggle with that, but going to Husky was a little bit different than maybe saying I'm going to go from Craftsman to Gear Wrench. But overall, it's paid off. We haven't broke anything yet. We did get a promise from the store that if we did break something, they would replace it, no issue. Dealing with the people at Home Depot, especially in their tool aisle, has been wonderful. I think this is a good move. I think it's going to be easy to get a replacement. And I think the tools that we got are pretty fair. I'm not going to say that you're going to go out and have a mechanic who's working with these 10 to 12 hours a day, that this is going to be his place to be. Probably not. But the guy who's doing this as a home mechanic is going to really enjoy the tools and is going to get a good core of what he needs to get 90% of the work done. This opens you up to get some flare wrenches or some line wrenches. You still need to get some impact sockets and maybe an impact wrench, but there's a lot of things that you can add to this kit and you won't need to duplicate, and that saves you money. So stop by Workshop Addict or check the description. We'll put a list of everything that's included in here, just so if you want to question it and say, okay, does it have this or does it have that? It'll be down there. Check us out on social media. We do a lot on social media with giveaways and also different projects that we have. Give us a like and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate your time, guys. Have a great day.